What's up, guys? Welcome to the Kouba kitchen journey. Now, spring is just around the corner and we are starting to get ready to plant our garden back there, and I came to the time of year where I need to start tilling stuff up. I have a new garden bed right here that still has a lot of grass that needs to be tore up in it, and I also have my garden beds existing back there that kind of just got overgrown during the fall. So we're going to pull some of that grass out, get the ground all tilled up. We've already got some of our saplings growing inside and some more that we're going to buy. And so I pulled out my trusty gas-powered tiller. My dad gave this to me last year. Actually, it might have been 2 years ago. And when he gave it to me, it was free because the bulb here, where you prime it, it was completely broken. All of the gas lines had completely rotted out. So I replaced all the fuel lines, I replaced the bulb, did all that, primed it up, ran it, bam, fired right up. I tilled an area over on the other side where I'm going to be planting some new grass seed this year. And since then, I have not been able to get it to start and to run. I am not a mechanic. Maybe you'll drop a comment in the comment section below that just says, hey, idiot, this is what you're supposed to do. But I just decided to give up on it completely, so I'll probably be selling it on Facebook Marketplace to someone who understands a little bit more about gas engines than I do. And I decided to investigate different options for what I have, which is essentially raised garden beds. The area that we put our gardens in is relatively small, and I found this Ryobi battery-powered 18-volt cordless cultivator, and I figured I'd give it a whirl. These are a couple $100 new. There's an eBay store that was selling them. I think it's Direct Tools. I'll actually put a link in the description below. And they had this with the battery for $149, and then there was a percentage off of that, so I ended up paying $111 for this guy right here, and I figured if it does what I need it to do, it's Ryobi 18-volt powered, which I already have about half a dozen, if not more, Ryobi tools, so I have 5 or 6 of these batteries on hand already. So if I'm tilling and the battery dies, it's not a huge deal. I'll just get a new one. So we're going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to put it together, and we're going to see what it does. All right, so I got a little screwdriver here. I do want to say that this is pre-owned, so I don't know if the person that has the store, if they just refurbish them or if they buy off-the-shelf models that don't work anymore. I mean, it's obviously coming in the original box, so however he got it, maybe it was a store return because someone didn't like it, but I mean, everything about it looks pretty nice. I will be happy to have another charger. This will make 4 chargers that I have. And again, I mean, there's a little bit of dirt and scuff on it. You can tell that it has been plugged in at some point, but other than that, it looks pretty stinking new. And then let's pull this guy out. Oh, that's just a handle. Here's the actual fancy schmancy unit. And let's see how hard this is to put together, or if I need to actually read instructions on it. Let's pull all the plastic off. We're going to make sure we pick that up so it doesn't get scattered about in my yard. There's a little bit of cardboard. So this, all right, so there's a little bit of scuff, right? Well, no, that came off. There's a little bit of dust on it. So maybe it was used, maybe it was just in long storage. I actually don't know. It looks relatively new to me. And I am going to need to get a Phillips head screwdriver. There was probably something somewhere that would tell me exactly what I'm going to need to put this together. But we're gonna, all right. So the instructions are in a sealed package. All right, so it says you need a Phillips head screwdriver, figure 1, switch the trigger interrupter. That's what everything is. Maybe this is why the original person returned it, because they couldn't get this thing in. All right, so yeah, you just got to force it a little bit, and then we tighten those screws down like so. Looks like our handle assembly. This little wing nut is going to come off, and then this guy is going to come on like this. Let's see if it just pops on. Of course it does. Let's line that guy up. We can move it around a little bit later if we want to. All right, so we got a handle right there. Let's see what's next. I tell you, this thing isn't packaged like it's used. Some of the stuff looks a little, you know, but I mean, this has never seen dirt before. Don't know. Let's make sure we get these blades on right the first time, because I'm apt to get that wrong. So there's these little, what are these called? Cotter pins, maybe. And then B and A. So let's say that A goes on first. All right, so here's how this goes. From right to left on this, it's going to be A, B, C, D. And so your B and your C are on the inside. So I've got D on this one, or C on this one, which means my letter D, which is right here, should fit on this guy like that. And then my little pin slides in. Do that without cutting yourself like that, and we'll flip it over. I don't know if it matters what side A and B are on and which side C or D on. When I tried to set B and A on, they didn't go on right away, so maybe that's because it doesn't fit, or maybe that's because I was just confused. There goes letter B. There goes letter A. You do have to kind of match up. It's like playing with that little shapes game, you know, when you were a kid and you had to put the shapes in the right blocks. That's kind of what this reminded me of. So let's just look at those again. No, they're the same shape. I'm just a dingus. It should have worked no matter how I did it. Anywho, we're going to pop that on, and the assembly is complete. And so we're going to take it over to my new section of garden bed and see what it does. So we did just get a little bit of rain here, so this ground's a little bit wet. This guy does have a speed adjustment, so there's 3 different speeds. And so we're going to start it on the lower speed. We're going to push our thumb in right here on this guy, and that gets it going. So one of the differences I notice immediately is that on my old tiller, the weight itself would pull it down. This I'm putting a little more muscle behind as I go. So that is one difference that I noticed right off the bat. So this is some pre-till, or this is some soil that's never been tilled before. It's just grass. It does take a little bit of work on it. I'm actually going to point my camera right over to an older garden bed that has some looser soil and see how we do there. So a couple observations. When I first started, I used the battery that came out of the box. Not the best idea. Normally I thought those things come like 30% charged, and it lasted me about 30 seconds. So that didn't do the trick in what I was trying to do. I put a new battery on and there was a noticeable increase in power. So make sure you're using a charged battery. But I gotta say, for something that's easier to lug around, it's easier to get into my raised garden beds than the heavy tiller. Yeah, it doesn't dig down into the dirt as much as my gas-powered one did. But for this stuff that's been tilled before, and even over here where I'm just tearing up the grass, or if I allow that to dry out a little bit so it's not mud, I think it'll do the trick. This is an amazing, good piece of hardware. I am grateful to have this. $111 on sale, $149 I think still at that shop if you want to buy one at that price. It's already part of the tool ecosystem that I use, so that's really good. So I am really happy with this. If you're looking for a light tiller, something to use in small strips like this, and you're not tearing up a whole backyard, this is a great product. We're gonna get our garden in, we're gonna grow some vegetables, and we're gonna have a good time in our kitchen. Hey, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe and drop a comment down below. We love you guys, and we'll see you next time.